Okay, guys, welcome back to a new video here. So I got a wild one for you. There's been a lot going on in the Trump administration this week, but this is probably the biggest story of them all. The Trump administration has been they've been doing a lot of deportations lately, as I'm sure many of you guys know. Recently, they had a massive, basically public spectacle where they rounded up a bunch of these alleged, just to be clear, that's the key word here, alleged Venezuelan migrants who are in a gang, okay? They were rounded up, allegedly, and they were deported to El Salvador into these high-security prisons where it is not a nice prison, guys, to put it mildly. Look at the details behind this. It is pretty wild, the conditions that a lot of these prisoners have. But again, if they were actual Venezuelan crime members, you know what? You go through the process and you go to prison, fine, you're deported. I think most people probably want illegal Venezuelan criminals deported. But the problem is, there's already been numerous reports in the press that, wait a second, these people are being rounded up just because they have a random tattoo, and these are not actual gang members at all. There's no due process at all. They're just picking up these random people and sending them to prisons, and there's no sort of, they're not listening to any sort of rules. They're completely ignoring the judicial branch, who is putting on injunctions on these orders. And I'm going to show you a clip from the Bill Maher show in a second, when this guy, Andrew Sullivan, who I don't even agree with that much on a lot of things, but he made a great point on this. Like, wait a second, this is not what America's supposed to be. America was founded on a nation of laws. And the current executive branch is just ignoring and disregarding that. Due process, they're just completely ignoring that whatsoever. Where to the point where you're actually deporting random, possibly, most likely hardworking people, and you're just accusing them as gang members and sending them to these prisons. It's unbelievable what we're seeing here, okay? It's insane. And just to give you the full story here, basically the Trump administration, they've been rounding up these people, taking the door down to some of these houses and just rounding up these people. I mean, it's truly unbelievable. They're rounding them up, and you know what? They were, again, as I said, if they're actual Venezuelan gang members, you have to do the process and you make sure of it, instead of just rounding up random people. But they rounded them up, and they were deporting them to El Salvador. They invoked the Alien Enemies Act from the 1790s, which is only supposed to be used in wartime. It's been used twice before, but I wasn't aware we were at war with these Venezuela. I wasn't aware that was a thing. But again, it's just being used so Trump can use these. And by the way, it was used for Japanese internment, guys. One of the great stains on American history, okay? Just unbelievable. The planes are in the air going to El Salvador, or at least what the Trump administration says at least. At least one of them. There's two planes. The court said, you know what? This is probably unconstitutional. We're going to hold this. And you know what the Trump administration said? They said they do not care. They do not care. They're going to allow the planes to go off. We don't care what the judges say. Their BS argument was, oh, you know what? Yeah, you know what? It was over international waters, so we don't have to oblige. Just one of the planes was. But according to reports, the planes were in Miami. They just completely disregarded it. And if you remember a few weeks ago, J.D. Vance, the vice president, made a number of comments basically saying, why should we be beholden to the courts? Well, this is, as I said, this is a cornerstone of American principles and laws, where the judicial branch is supposed to check the executive branch. So the idea that, we actually didn't break any laws. They were over international waters, which is a BS argument, and it's not even true. Secondly, you asked the border czar, Tom Homan, about this, and you know what he said when he asked about these injunctions? He said, we don't care what the judges say. Total disregard for the rules and laws of this country. It's utterly disgraceful what we're seeing. It's, again, imagine you're just a random person in this country and you're going to illegally round it up because you're falsely accused of being in a gang. And these are, as I said, these are no-joke prisons, okay? It's utterly unbelievable that this is happening. And then we're getting reports that a French journalist who was supposed to have a conference somewhere was not allowed into the country because they searched their phone and they saw they were critical of Trump. And they were denied entry to the country. Are you kidding me? I mean, that is literal authoritarian stuff. Like, that's like no joke. In fact, to the point where we're actually seeing travel advisories from other Western European countries being put on the United States to be careful of travel because you could be detained illegally. I mean, it's insane stuff. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. It's just completely insane. And they just don't have any regard for the laws. It's pretty scary. It really is. I mean, it goes to show you we literally are in the midst of a constitutional crisis here. It is unbelievable what's going on. So make sure to, and guys, here's a clip from the Bill Maher show. Basically putting it better than I could, honestly. Andrew Sullivan, in a very passionate response, levels what the Trump administration is doing and calling it out very strongly. Here's the clip. And guys, make sure to like and subscribe, by the way. It's super good for the algorithm, and it costs you absolutely nothing. And if you want to support the channel in any other way, my Patreon link is also in the description, and Amazon links and products I use. If you want to check that out, you can buy it with the links below. Thanks so much. Here's a clip, and we'll talk about it.
I have to say, I do not care about the economy if the government in this country claims it can break down anyone's doors, seize anyone with no due process, put them on a plane, and send them to a foreign jail where who knows what's going to happen to them. I want to say the last person in this country who did that was called George III. This is fundamental to this country's survival, to the meaning of this country. We do not let people violate people's security without due process, without law. Period. I know I'm hyped up about this. I know they're not necessarily citizens. I know that some of them, a lot of them, are horrible people that shouldn't be here. But some of them are not. The whole point of this is that innocent people are caught up in this when they should not be, when you're not giving them any chance to prove that they shouldn't be there.
Again, but can
Sorry,
calm down. Jesus Christ.
This is America. I'm an immigrant to this country.
I understand.
That's why I came here, because this country is a country of freedom.
But again,
and he's telling us it isn't.
I agree.
Sorry.
We're all on the same page.
And yeah, there you have it. I mean, again, it's supposed to be a cornerstone of America where you have freedom and you're actually supposed to go through due process. Okay? Because again, innocent people are being caught up in the entire thing. And frankly, it's not a good statement of where America is right now when the current administration is able to just round up whoever they want because they think they might be in a gang, so we're going to send them to these high-security prisons in El Salvador. That's why we have a judicial process to make sure everything is going okay. Laws matter in this country. They're supposed to matter at least. But again, we're only 2 months in, and we're just seeing complete disregard for the judicial branch and other chambers of government. It's utterly insane. Again, we can talk about with Doge, for example, but the idea that the current administration is just deciding to ignore court orders, there has to be some sort of recourse for this. This is not what America's supposed to be. It's just not, okay? And it's just not a good sign that there's really not much pushback from Republicans. They think it's totally fine. Oh, they're all gang members. It matters, okay? Laws are supposed to matter in this country. And the current administration just does not seem to be caring at all. And unless people protest this and maybe make a statement that, you know what, this is not okay, it's just going to continue. The Democrats have to show a spine and actually wake up and fight back against the current administration. But you have weak leadership in Schumer, which is why he needs to go. And frankly, a lot of the Democrats just seem completely hopeless in fighting back against this. But this is just going to continue at this point, and it's not a good sign for American democracy. I'm pretty black-pilled on this. It really is terrible. The fact that this French person, this journalist, people are being critical of Trump entering the country are not being allowed in. What is going on? Utterly disgraceful. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, guys. Just utterly unbelievable stuff happening this week in the United States of America. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, make sure to like and subscribe. It's super good for the algorithm, and my Patreon link is in the description. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you later.